What is going on, everybody? Ryan Leary, William Tinkup here with the BARF. This is the look at the week that was, so you can be prepared for the week that is. William, what's going on, brother?
I am having a fantastic Sunday. So,
You know,
how are you?
you know what? I can't complain. There's no rain
Okay.
today. It
Okay.
is somewhat mm, walkable outside,
Okay.
not much else. But you had a big weekend this weekend.
I did. We dropped our oldest son off at the Corps of Cadets at Texas A&M,
That sounds
and
so scary.
it's the Army,
Yeah.
so they're going through Hell Week this week,
Mm.
and we'll see him Friday and sometimes on Saturday,
Already
and
you get to visit them?
yeah, it's after Hell Week they go through a ceremony, kind of a graduation from Hell Week,
Oh.
because it washes some kids out.
Ah.
In fact, the commandant during his presentation to the parents was like, "You're going to get calls this this week. Come pick me up.
You may get a delivery from your child.
This is not for me. Come pick me up."
Oh
Uh,
man.
which I'm not worried about in terms of our son, just
Hmm.
because Henry's been away from home at a lot of different
Right.
instances in
He's
his
done a ton of
life, and
camps and
done a ton of camps and all that other stuff.
yeah.
Plus, he's had me as a father. So, like, he told me last night that he got screamed at about something. He couldn't even remember what he got screamed at. He was like, "Wasn't nothing." I'm like,
Yeah.
there you go. See,
That's nice. Nice.
it
Nice.
all worked out.
I saw Michael posted the picture of his hair.
Oh yeah,
So his
but
hair is gone.
no,
Welcome
there's
to the
nothing.
club.
No, they're called fish. So he doesn't have a first name. No one like it's as if there
Hmm.
is no first name. So no one knows him as Henry, other than his roommate.
Nice.
Everyone else, and you call your roommates are your roommates for 4 years.
Right.
So the Corps never leaves campus. I mean, in terms of housing, they
Hmm.
don't get apartments. You're there for 4 years.
Hmm.
So
God bless him, man. Thank him already for the service. Good luck.
100%,
Better
100%.
man than I have ever been. That's,
No crying. That was the craziest thing in the world. Is normally because you're going into the dorm room, putting up a bunch of stuff, and it's a big process.
hmm
There was none of that. Like we went in,
Yeah.
uh, my wife and him unpacked,
Uh-huh.
and okay, and then we like went and did stuff around campus. Like
Hey, see you later.
it was two trunks. It was two like
Yeah, yeah,
boxes.
I saw the trunks got put in and that was it.
That was it.
Nice. Nice. I remember
Yeah.
going in, I had speakers and
Oh
all my
yeah.
other
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Not a normal college experience. So
No.
for folks that have a normal college experience, I can see the longer you spend time with your child, the more it
Right.
becomes. Well, yeah, but
Well,
not this. This is the Army.
I guess congratulations. You got one more left in the house. And so
100%.
yeah, enjoy that. I'm sure we'll
I
have
am.
fun. So why don't you kick us off? We
Now,
got some fun stuff to talk about.
so let's do breaking news first. This is the B. Have you ever wondered about H-1B visas?
Not
Have you ever
really.
kind of given any thought to that? All right. So it's a
No.
lottery system, right? And these are for people that are outside of our country that want to work in our country, and you
Yeah.
got to be sponsored. All right. Okay. Look. So basically, there's about 85,000 H-1Bs that are available. They come up through this every year. They come up through the same process, and hundreds of thousands of people apply. So far more people apply than there are spots. So here's a news
Hmm.
story on thebusinessstandard.com. H1B visa lottery decoding multiple registration scams. All right.
Mm.
So here's what really made me laugh, but at the same time cry, because basically what staffing firms in India, and this calls out India in particular, but I'm sure it's
Hmm.
happening elsewhere, is they would create multiple registrations for the same person. so
That
so
tracks.
right right? So like if you're an engineer and you have a specialized talent and someone will sponsor you, etc. Now they've got like 15 different registrations for each person, so you increase your odds. That's not legal.
No, not legal, but it's not stupid either.
No, it was a Bloomberg. So if you want to dig into the real, like how they got
Yeah.
there, Bloomberg did the investigation. So reputable source, go check that out. Um, I kind of file this under kind of shitty but smart
Mm-hmm.
in my brain. It's like that's shitty.
Yeah. It's a
However,
reminder of for me, it is a reminder of how to think outside the box and do
yeah,
things, a little differently. Push the edge a
I
little bit.
well, that's what you want ultimately,
Yeah.
until you get caught.
Yeah. Well, hey, it works. All right.
There you go.
So Beamery
Okay,
is drinking its own champagne. They released an independent AI audit. Their independent AI audit results from Warden AI. So
I like that.
yeah, good for them. This is a smart move for Beamery. This is all about transparency. It's a trust builder with their stakeholders. It's a conversation that is being had within their prospect base already. So why not lead the way and be seen and heard? So they ran.
There's only a few in HR tech that have independent audits. It's expensive too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's that part too, not
right.
just the like, oh my, well, we should do it. Like
Um,
it's several hundreds of thousands, if
right.
not
But to
millions, to
release
do.
it, be public with it, fantastic. Good for them. They
Smart.
ran both, and I'm no expert, and so don't ask me any questions. They ran both the disparate and counterfactual analysis.
Yeah,
In both
yeah,
cases, the audit came back with no significant bias in their process.
it's great.
So take that for what you will, but kudos to them for doing this again. They did this last year as well. But I mean, I think for me, when you want to be a leader in anything, then you need to break through what you always say, the status quo. And I think
That's right.
this is a big step in that direction. So kudos to Beamery, and let's. I would like to see more tech in the space, more companies do this.
I think it's going to be mandatory at a certain point
Yeah,
that people will say, well, just like your audited financials. At a certain point,
right,
people are going to say, well, you're audited for AI. And again, you can fix it. That's the whole point of an audit.
right.
Like,
That's
if
the whole
something's
point.
wrong,
I get it. You're nervous to release results, but
right,
you know, it works.
always. Yeah. All right, let me tell you a little bit about Meta. Uh, Meta pays 1.4 billion
Whew.
in a settlement with Texas over the use of facial recognition software. Yeah,
Wow.
no joke.
That
The
is money.
lawsuit alleges that the social media giant has collected the biometric data of millions of citizens without their consent.
Wow.
This was on Spiceworks. So good for this. Gets Ken Paxton, our AG, who's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not shocking. Our governor's crazy. Our AG is crazy. But anyhow, he's the
Oh.
one that filed this. He's the one that was behind this suit. $1.4 billion. That's no chump change.
Oh.
But
Where's
it's
the
on.
money go? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to go into stuff.
Ah,
Yeah,
the
I'm sure
AG
it's going
picks
to go
up a
into.
$40 million mansion.
Yeah, well, and he has been accused of fraud,
Well,
and
man,
yeah,
there you
there's
go.
lawsuits pending against him. So no, I don't think it'll be. I think it'll actually go in to fund other types of Texas programs
Mm-hmm.
that no one likes other than
Yeah,
Texans.
yeah, yeah.
So found this article on Spiceworks, which is a really cool
Mm-hmm.
site. So go take a look at it. But what it reminded me of is that the data that we collect from employees, both how we collect that
Mm-hmm.
data, but also what we do with that data. Because I also saw another article in a different place about hackers are now starting to target enterprise software like never before. Like they've seen an uptick. I think it was on White Hat, but basically an uptick in the attacks on enterprise software. So again, this is one of those deals where buyers beware and asking for, like what you said with Beamery, audited
Yeah.
AI. We've also they've got to have I think a more of IT does this really well, but HR, because of SaaS, we haven't really kind of grown that muscle memory of talking about security and privacy
Right.
with what we just learned with Meta because of what they did. Okay, check. But also with hackers going after enterprise software more, we're going to see more data being leaked. So we've got to, it puts a little bit more of an onus on HR, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it's
Yeah.
in your buying process, there's got to be a part of the RFP or a part of the conversation that says, okay, tell us about security.
Right.
Tell us about privacy. Tell us about when you get hacked, not if you get hacked, when
When.
you get hacked, what's the process?
Right.
And so that's what it really, yes, it's 1.4 billion to Texas for things that they weren't supposed to be doing, but it really is more of a bigger story about, okay, this should change our buyer behavior of enterprise software.
Right. All right. So, first off, big shout out to Dayforce. I wanted to say this earlier. Dayforce Wallet surpasses $4 billion in payroll delivered. Congrats to achieving
That's
that
huge.
milestone. That's a lot of money going through
Was that,
payroll.
did we learn that, I think last year at Insights, right?
With Dayforce, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
when we learned that, I don't think there's fees on either side, right?
I don't remember. It's a good question.
Okay.
I don't think
I don't
so. I think it's
I don't think there's
feeless.
fees. Yeah, I think it's feeless on both sides for the
Yeah.
employer and the employee.
Yeah. It's their
I think
money.
it's
They're just
feeless.
processing and doing their thing.
Okay. Yeah, we can look that
Yeah.
up to make sure that's
So,
factual.
all right.
What do you got?
EEOC. I did this. Yeah, I did it last week. Just kind of a rundown of the lawsuits and settlements because there's always a lot. Um,
Always.
so I'm gonna run through and let's see if we can pick one out here. Radiant Services to pay 1.1 million for hiring discrimination based on race, national origin, and sex.
Hmm.
Yeah, nice. Charlotte IHOP is paying 40K for religious discrimination. Innovative Service Northwest to pay
Mm-hmm.
136.5 in a disability lawsuit. ProPallet pays just 50K in a retaliation suit, not bad. Third Bench pays 165 in retaliation, and Walmart, your best friend, is
Heck
paying
yeah.
75K in a disability discrimination
That's
lawsuit.
probably that's probably ADA related. Um,
Mm. Hmm?
it would be with some of these. It'd be really like the religious discrimination in Charlotte on the IHOP. I'd really like to know what that was.
Yeah.
Like I'm curious about. Okay, is that we don't want people to wear crosses? Is it atheists? We don't like
Yeah,
atheists at
yeah. I
At
can
our
open the
Charlotte
link and
IHOP.
dig
Like
through it.
I would love to know.
Yeah,
Like okay, you can't wear your whatever
yeah.
coverings and things like that. Like what is that bit?
Yeah,
But
so
there's
since
this.
so
Go
since I've
ahead.
been grabbing them in aggregate and not digging into each individual story, you know, it's
Well,
it
sometimes it's hard to find.
it is, and I'm looking
Yeah.
at the just the sheer amount, and I know this isn't all of them, but the sheer
Oh
amount
no.
of EEOC claims and suits and fines and penalties.
It's
It's outstanding. Like it is just ridiculous the
it's
amount
like
that is
this
out
is one of
there.
the things that keeps HR up at night is because
Yeah,
they put the things in play to so that you don't do these things, but then employees do them.
yeah,
And all of a sudden, then they get caught in the lawsuit, and then it goes through the process. And
yeah,
so, at a certain point, you know, there isn't an HR leader at any of these, a competent HR leader at any one of these places that didn't lay down the proper way to do things.
right. It's right. Yeah. I would so my
It's,
recommendation go check out the EEOC website, whether you're in HR or
oh
not.
yeah,
If you're
it's
listening, it's
EOC,
fascinating the amount of things that are there.
EEOC.gov.
Yeah,
Shocking, not shocking, but yeah, I mean, there's
amazing.
always stuff there, and there's always going to be stuff there
Mm-hmm.
when people do what they're going to do. All right, it's getting harder for companies to keep politics out of the workplace.
Mm.
Employers teach de-escalation techniques as divisive political discussions become almost impossible to avoid. So this was in the Wall Street Journal. So, when something hits the Wall Street Journal, you know that it's serious. So when I was reading it, I'm thinking to myself, good fucking luck
Mm.
trying to keep discussions out of the workplace because it's so subtle.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about like what stickers people have on their cars and what
Yeah.
churches they attend and what sports kids play. Like all this stuff
Are they wearing a
can be.
pin? Yeah, it's yeah.
Exactly. Are they wearing a pin and not wearing a pin or wearing a pin incorrectly? Okay. All right.
Is your
Well,
hair
like
parted left or right? It's
everything has been politicized and it probably always was. We've just become more aware that everything's politicized. Okay. So I think as I read the article, I'm thinking they're talking about how to keep it out. And it reminds me of the war on drugs. And the war on drugs, simply put, was a war on the supply side of drugs. So what we're going to do is make it harder for people to get drugs rather than the demand side of drugs, meaning why do you want drugs? Had we spent, in my humble opinion, if we would have spent the amount of money that we have since the 80s on the war on drugs, not on the supply side, but on the demand side, put therapy centers on every
good
corner,
points. Yeah.
then we wouldn't have problems with drugs. I think that essentially the same thing needs to happen here. Trying to stop politics at work is just, I don't think you're ever going to be able to do it. A. B. Why don't you just take that energy and focus people on civil discourse and how to respect opposing views? So instead of trying to keep it out, create a lot of rules like, you can't talk about Trump. Okay, well, you know what?
It's like some holistic shit you're talking about here. Like,
Oh yeah, no, definitely. After a couple of edibles, here's the thoughts that come out. So the idea is stop focusing on keeping it out. Focus more on teaching your employees, hey, how do you have a conversation? How do you have a debate?
how
How
do
do you
you
have
be an adult?
discourse? How do you,
I
that's
mean,
very Philly.
you
Very
have
Philly.
this beautiful way
Yes.
of saying it. Me,
Yeah.
be
Just
an
how
adult.
do you be?
Just be an
How
adult.
do you be? Yeah. How do you be normal?
Yeah.
Just be normal.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is if we teach our employees civil discourse, so we teach them debate, and we teach them to respect, most importantly, respect opposing views.
Right.
Like this is Voltaire 101, right? So I don't agree with you, but I agree with the fact that you have to have an opinion, and I will defend that you have to have an opinion.
Yeah.
We don't have to agree. In fact, I don't think you should agree. You need to have a little bit of conflict. So, Wall Street Journal, take a look at it. It's fascinating the way they framed it up in terms of keeping politics out of work. I think that's wrong. I mean, I think that approach has already been tried, and I think it's a failed bit. I think we should be teaching them how to actually bring it in. Like, come on, let's
How to
go,
have
bring it in.
conversation.
How to have conversations without killing somebody.
All right. So I do want to go back to Radiant. I did mean to talk about the Radiant Corp. So they were paying 1.1 million. This is from the EEOC. They're paying 1.1 million to settle the lawsuit for hiring discrimination for race, national origin, sex. So the details here: since 2015, the company allegedly has failed to hire Black, Asian, and white non-Hispanics for low-skill positions and segregated jobs by sex.
That's a double whammy right there.
Yeah.
So first of all, you're not going to hire brown. Got it. Secondly, you're
men,
going to have women doing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so wrong. Now, a quick question: if they've settled, can we take away the word allegedly?
I don't know.
That's actually a question.
Yeah. I mean, settled doesn't admit guilt, right? I mean, it just says I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying. When I hear settled, regardless of what the
Seems like
definition is. When I hear settled, I hear
seems
they
like
just
it
didn't
did.
want to deal with the bullshit.
That's right. Well, it's easier to pay 1.1 just to get done with it.
It's cheaper.
But this is just again bad actors doing bad things.
Yeah. Yep.
File that under that file. But they got the double whammy of both the race discrimination as well as sex discrimination. So I'm glad they got caught. I'm glad they had to pay a fine. And I hope they fix it. All right, Ryan, the summer job is back. I know you know this. Teens enter the labor force as employers dish out higher wages and perks. This was on CNBC. So one of the things, the data points that it was fascinating to me is they went from 1150 in 2020 to 1550 in 2024. That's $4, right? Over 4 years. That data is coming from Gusto, by the way. It's $1 a year raise. That seems about right. Again, I think we've been underpaying young teen talent forever. So, but what the article and what the whole trend, where does it tap out? At what point is it not $1 a year? Because right now that's just okay. We went from 1150 to 1550. Okay, totally get it. Where is it in 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30? Is where does that tap out? And it's just like, okay, we can't go any higher, or does it just increase what you pay at the register? Because is that just more of a cost factor in what you buy at your grocery store or wherever?
Yeah,
Like
it's an interesting conversation, and I'm living it now, right?
You are.
With one of my daughters, and it's interesting. So when we grew up, it was go make $5 an hour, $7, like that's good. You're a kid. What do you need, right? Just go make a little bit of money, get the experience.
Scratch.
But when I look back at that, even though I was just pushing carts, now maybe because it's me, I wanted to be the best damn cart pusher
I
wanted to make sure they were aligned and this and that all, but that was besides the point. Why should I get paid less because I'm 15?
Right.
If I'm doing a great job, right? Let's just say I started at 14.
There's child labor laws in place for a reason.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I was 14. Now I'm 16. I've got 2 years of experience. Why should I get paid because, as a teen, because you feel that I should just be getting a little bit of money?
Right.
I could be just as good as the 35-year-old stocking shelves. In fact, I
100%.
could probably be better and faster and more nimble at it. I don't know, But when I look at my daughter, for example, they actually cut the rates where and now I'm kind of in this predicament. I'm having this conversation with her because it's still good money. They were paying the lifeguards at the one place $17 and change, or 17. Now they're coming down to 15.
Wow.
She's been there for a couple of years.
Is that for the fall? Is that because there's just less?
Fall, winter, and spring, yeah. Now she's been working there for a couple of years at the 17 and going up, and now they're coming back down. She's like, I don't want to work there. But I'm like, it's still $15 an hour.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that somewhere else.
I don't know that to be true.
Right. Well, I don't know it to be true, but this is the conversation I'm having currently. I'm like, this is a difficult decision because would I take $2 less an hour to do the same job?
Hell no. Oh, hell no.
Right.
No.
And so my advice to her
and nor should you.
No, and my advice to her was, if you go somewhere else and you make less money, I'm okay with that, as long as you're okay with that. It's the principle of it. Why would I do the same job that I've been doing for a couple of years and you're going to cut my hours, not even cut the hours, you're going to cut my pay.
Because of their seasonality. Because the seasonality of a pool is there's more demand, i.e. they're getting more fees. They're probably getting more they're getting more revenue in the summer.
Then cut my hours, don't cut my rates.
Right. So there's a different way to deal with that, and it's exactly what you said. Keep your rate the same, cut your hours.
Anyhow, yeah. So I'm right in the middle of that. So, all right, acquisitions. Why don't you kick us off?
I think you've got to. You were going to tell us a little bit about Eventbrite.
Oh, Eventbrite. Yes, our friends at Eventbrite. So this story caught my eye because they're doing a layoff, right? So nothing crazy here. They're doing a layoff. I I wasn't I guess I don't look at Eventbrite as like this massive player in this
It's
space, right?
yeah,
They've been around forever, but they're kind of lame. They don't hear of Eventbrite and think innovation. So anyway, this is their second cut in the last couple of years. Um, this time they're doing 100 employees, so it's about 11% of their staff.
so it
In
fits about 1,000 employees.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, about 1,000 employees. Of course, they're trying to talk about how they're working hard to help them on the exit. It's going to spend about $7 million in severance for the 100 employees.
uh,
Um, what I
that's
was,
pretty cool.
I guess, what I was shocked at. So their net revenue, uh, was 84.6 million, which is 7% year over year up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for the company year over year, but ticket sales. So for what they sell tickets to was down 6%, which is about 50 million down. So, anywho, all this to say that they have brought in ex Meta executive Samantha Wu as their new CMO. Makes sense because their challenge has been the ability to attract and retain creators to use their
Mm-hmm.
platform for ticketing and all of that. So sounds like
Best
yeah,
best part. First of all, layoffs. So got it. Um, Best part of this whole thing is that they put $7 million in
yes,
severance. That's I love hearing that because a lot of people get to that point where they have to make a cut and
yeah,
they don't put aside enough money for getting
yeah,
people onto their next thing. So good for them
yep, yep.
on that front. All
Now we
right,
can move
Ryan.
on.
No, we will move on to how companies can take a global approach to AI ethics. It's tying back to your Beamery bit earlier.
Mm,
This is Harvard Business Review, so you can take a look at this. And while reading this article, I immediately thought about how HR should drive this train and what a
mm,
wonderful opportunity it would be for talent professionals to impact the business positively. So think of it like this. My father used to do this bit. You're either on the train or off the train.
right.
But I modified it slightly to you're either on the train or off the train, driving the train or being run over by the train.
Mm.
So now, and of course, I just made that up. I think they should drive the train in AI, and especially as it relates to people.
Yeah.
Anything people related, they might not be able to drive the AI for the company, but either it touches people in any facet, I think they should be able to jump in there. But again, it gets this: how do you bring an ethical AI? You talked about audited AI, ethical AI, completely different, similar. How does HR and recruiting, how do they get in there and put their own fingerprints
Right.
on ethical AI? And they're going to have to jump in feet first, in my opinion. So that's that. It's on Harvard Business Review, hbr.org. Go take a look at the full article because it is quite fascinating about AI and ethics. So HR, recruiters, go get involved.
I've been
Ethics.
trying to jump to acquisitions
You
forever.
have.
I don't know
You've got an
why.
itch.
I'm just so
It's,
excited about the acquisitions this week. So
there's no judgment coming
no,
from me.
no, 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 no. But guess what we're
I'll
doing
start us
right
off.
now?
Yeah, acquisitions.
Acquisitions.
Let's do
Let's
acquisitions.
do
All right,
acquisitions.
MPay acquires SDP, Southland Data Processing, to enhance payroll and HCM solutions. This is on SiliconValleyJournals.com. You can go look at the story. This is fish eating fish. The
Hmm.
acquisition is set to strengthen MPay's kind of position in the market by integrating some of what SDP's expertise and expanding their capabilities. So terms not disclosed on this acquisition. So there's that, but good for MPay, good for SDC, SDP, and all involved. So there
Nice.
you go.
Nice.
Yep.
All right.
Bing.
ZipRecruiter, we were both looking at this week.
Yes.
ZipRecruiter acquires UK-based Breakroom to expand in
Hmm.
the US. So Breakroom is break they provide job seekers with insights into things like pay, working conditions, company culture through ratings, right? So this is a ratings play. So on their site, it says that they contrast with traditional employee review sites a la the Indeeds and Glassdoors of the world. So curious here to get your take. They're not mentioning them by name, but is this a stab at it to go after this? I know they're
Yeah.
looking to do it in a different way where it's not just vomiting on the employer, but actually
Yeah.
providing real truthful insight.
There's been a couple plays that have gone after this, comparably being probably one of the most
Hmm.
notable, is they looked at culture. So compensation, culture. They looked at some other facets than Glassdoor. There's a reason Recruit Holdings purchased Glassdoor and has integrated Glassdoor. Glassdoor still operates
Yep.
separately than Indeed, but the idea is that on the back end they're sharing data for both sides. So this does get, for me, I think it's a good move for ZipRecruiter. It edges them closer to kind of having a more solutions to sell clients. So they've got jobs they can sell. So now, what else can they sell to them? And I think that's probably what
Right.
investors are looking for is, okay, you need to expand your revenue streams. So this is a great acquisition because somebody's already kind of gotten the bit up and rolling and it's moving, and now now you put the power of ZipRecruiter behind it. Uh, I think it's great for them. I think it's great for the folks at Breakroom in terms of an exit. And so, yeah, yeah, good acquisition. Solid use of money.
Yes.
Ryan, are we already to the R's? The
We
research?
are. I was so excited to get to
What?
acquisitions, and we had
Yeah,
to.
no, no, that's fine. Well, now we're on research.
Yeah.
We've talked several weeks in a row about DEI,
Yeah.
but I found a study that talked a little bit about DEI backlash and what employees
Hmm.
really think. This is Seramount. This is their 2024 DEI kind of national survey. That's Seramount, SERAMOUNT.com. You can find they've got all kinds of insights. Yeah. So as I looked at their study, as I looked at the findings in particular, it's like, okay, wait a minute. The findings are interesting. I'm going to go through about 4 data points in a second, but they're inconsistent. And
Hmm.
what it got me to think about is how do we define inclusive? What's our working definition of inclusive and inclusivity? Like you might view inclusive differently than I do. We might define it
Yeah.
differently. And
I think
so
it's a little subjective.
it seems like this might. So let me give you a couple of data points because it's the consistency part really kind of threw me. So 76% of the respondents agree with the statement. I am committed to helping my company fight racism and justice within the organization, compared to 83% 2021. So that number went down. Okay, that's 7 points in a couple of years. So that's the employee's perception of they are going to help their company with those things. Now, the next, 47% of employees agree with the statement. I feel the focus on DEI is blown out of proportion.
Hmm.
So, okay,
Did it
which
have details on what they mean by blown out of proportion?
I think it's talked about too much. I think that's the way that was phrased was just it's just
Interesting.
we talk about it too much. Okay, third thing. 78% indicated that it's very important for their company to be an inclusive organization. Okay, that tracks with the first thing. Like, okay, all right. Compared to 2021, fewer employees now view their direct managers and senior leaders as inclusive. So, which is it? Like which lane are we following? And what I believe is happening as I look at all the data is I think there's no one actually in this particular survey. I don't think that they define this is what inclusive is and means. now. Like, I do like that they do statements. I actually appreciate that. I just didn't see any consistency.
Hmm.
So I want other people to go look at the study and then message me where I was wrong, because clearly there is some consistency that I just couldn't figure it out. So go to Saramount.com, go into their research area, insights area, take a look at it, and then please tell me like what I got wrong here. So
Hmm.
there you go.
That's interesting.
DI
I
backlash.
no, I think I feel I felt this way, not with inclusivity, but I just felt the company's mission when I was in corporate, the company's mission wasn't my mission,
Yeah.
right? I worked at the company to get a paycheck,
Right.
right? I had to
Right.
pay for my family, raise the kids, all that stuff. Did I like the company? Yes, that was a bonus. Did I enjoy the people? Bonus, right? All of that, bonus, and that was good. But I never went to work saying, I'm going to run through a wall for you because you believe in this.
Right.
Right. And I
Well,
and I think over the
that,
last I think this is a COVID effect of people feeling closer maybe to their companies and the missions of the company because the world was hit with something.
I think they want different things from their companies.
Well,
So you
they
just wanted a paycheck.
well, yeah, I just wanted to well, and I wanted more, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Career
I didn't
advancement,
hang
some
my
other stuff.
hat. Yeah, everything right. I
Yeah.
wasn't concerned with, well, the company
Uh,
believes in this and so
they don't
I'm
support the
going.
SPCA. I can't work there.
Right. So, yeah, I
Don't.
think this is just employees have their own mission in life. And so when they're not supporting certain things like inclusivity, I don't think it's because they hate people or they hate being
No, I
inclusive.
don't either.
They're just there to do a job. They're not,
Yeah.
I don't think they're not supporting it. I just don't think they care about it.
All right.
Well, I'd say they care, but they don't care about supporting the company's mission behind it, whatever.
I think younger generations, I think both millennials and Gen Z, they're bringing to the table a different expectation from the company.
Yeah.
And some companies are going to abide and some won't.
Right.
And
Some will
and if
pay
you
the ransom
don't,
fee.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
All right, what do you got?
So Textio, our friends at Textio, I felt
Mm-hmm.
like we talked about this somewhere before, but I couldn't find it, and so I put it in because I just thought this was really kind of common sense, but interesting too. So 10% of all employee attrition is caused by low quality feedback. So I got this off of Unleash was running a feature on
Mm-hmm.
this. So William, let me ask you, how do you like your feedback?
I like it solicited and negative.
I don't think you
That's how
like
I want it.
feedback. You don't like
No, I do.
feedback.
I like when I ask, so
Yeah,
solicited, and I want negative.
yeah. You
I
know where
don't
you're
want.
great. Tell me where I suck.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So,
That's what I want to know
all
from
right.
very specific people.
So not all feedback is the same. We know this, right? But
Correct.
and how it's delivered is impacting employee attrition. So to
I can
10%.
see that.
Right. So the type of feedback, whether positive or negative,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. You can give
Interesting.
negative feedback or
Yeah.
positive feedback. That was not the issue. How was it delivered?
Huh.
Because people receive feedback in a different way. And so when I
God, I
saw
would
this,
suck it.
yeah, well, when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is fucking perfect. Because you
Oh, I would
always
be
say,
terrible here.
Ryan, how do you like your
Mm.
feedback? I'm like, just give it to me, baby. Just give it to me. Right? So when I saw this, I
But that
thought, well,
that doesn't work with younger people.
right. Yeah. And
That
so,
doesn't work with.
right. So
Hmm.
top talent and bad, but attrition just across the board, when you deliver bad feedback, or not, I should say, when you deliver feedback in a bad, what is perceived as a bad way,
Poorly. Yeah.
poorly, people don't care. Sayonara, right? That's,
Right.
I think back to, I've told you this
Interesting.
before. I worked at a staffing company. This is back in like 2001 or three or whatever the hell it was. But no, I lie. It was 2006 because I just gotten back from my honeymoon. And my manager said something to me my first day back. She was just being a
Yeah,
manager.
yeah,
I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I'm
yeah,
out of here. I'm done. I
yeah.
left. Like I was like,
Wrong day.
yeah,
Wrong day.
my
Wrong
first
day.
day back, and then you go back to the house, and you're like, honey, guess what? I
Yeah,
made my
getting a new
first
job.
executive decision.
Well,
Yeah,
I think that the thing is it also kind of gets down to knowing your employees. So
yeah,
you've got to spend time with them. You've got to be doing the check-ins, etc. So you kind of
hmm
can tailor, not can, you should tailor your feedback, either positive or negative,
right,
to the person. Like, okay, and again, how do you like your feedback is a kind of a funny way of getting there. But it's like if I know that the person that works for me just doesn't, they just don't like negative feedback. Well,
right,
you know what? There's a way to talk about it and couch it in ways that you're not talking about them. It's like,
right.
all right, hey, listen, I got this thing going on with this other employee. Can't tell you who it is, but here's something. They're not showing up to work on time. And it's killing me. I just don't know what to do. Like, like there's ways to do
Yeah.
it. That's a really dumb one, but
What would you
but the
do? I'd
idea is
fire him. Good, get the fuck out.
and here's your pink slip.
Yeah,
I think the thing is it's if knowing your anytime there's a cookie cutter approach to
yeah,
feedback, you're already lost.
yeah.
If you've applied a layer of personalization, you've tried.
hmm
Now, how that person takes it is always fascinating to me because uh, I've gotten into trouble historically into trouble because I'll just say whatever the fuck I want, and then how you take it, that's on
That's your
you, homie.
problem.
That's exactly. So when people tell me like, and I've gotten this feedback all my life, like literally all my life, same feedback. It's like you should really watch how you talk to people. I'm like, no, they should really think about how they consume shit. It's not my fucking problem. After I've said it out of my mouth, fuck
Uh,
that's on you. How you consume it is a you thing, not a me thing.
yeah,
However, if we're looking at corporate, we're looking at feedback in the way that we're thinking about it here and how it affects attrition. Now, attrition isn't a bad word. Turnover isn't a bad
no,
word. It's the regrettable,
regrettable. Right.
right? So if we're losing top talent because of the way that we're doing feedback, stop the presses. We need to actually this is worth
Need to fix
stopping
it.
down and fix it because you don't want to lose talent because of the way that you're again, either the way that you're rendering the feedback or whether or not it's the ratio of positive to negative. Like, don't lose talent. Don't lose talented people. And if that comes down to feedback, find out how to
Yeah,
make that work so you don't lose good people.
yeah. So thought it was interesting and wanted to bring it
I
to the
love it.
team.
Good one. All right, Ryan, because you're squarely in Gen X. Gen
I'm,
X was voted the best managers amongst their colleagues.
that is me.
This is on benefitnews.com. So I voted twice. This is data according to FlexJobs, their 2024 generations at work. And as we learned last week, there are truly 5 generations at work. So, of course, I said suck it, boomers and millennials. It won't last because Gen X is a smaller generation,
hmm
population size wise, than millennials and boomers. So we're kind of in between these two kind of mammoth. So it won't last. So we should celebrate the fact that we are killing it right now. But I believe, and I really believe this, I believe millennials will be better managers than we were. And I think they will be there, and all of this will go away, and they'll be better managers for a longer period of time. So, but right now, we're on top, Ryan. Right now,
Hey,
you
I'm
should
gonna
go to
take
bed
the
tonight
W and
knowing
I'm gonna go. So I'll see you later. Have a great night.
100%.
All right. So skills gap
Mm-hmm.
can cost employers a month of productivity each year. But wait, there's more. All right, check this out 25 working days
Mm-hmm.
per employee per year. So 25 days per employee per year are lost to inefficiencies at work. So this doesn't count the unaccounted, like, I'm just
Right.
not working right now
Yeah.
type of
No, that's a
hours,
different
right?
view. Yeah.
So this is across 12,000 employees across 18 industries in the US and UK. So workers spend about 14.3 hours per week on data tasks. Makes up about
Mm,
36% of their work week. 4.3 hours are spent unproductively due to skills gaps. So
I can
think,
see that.
I don't know how to do something on Excel. I'm going to go
Right.
learn it on the job,
Right.
but I don't have proper training or proper access to learning to do
Right.
that, right? I'm going to go
Or I'm
Google and Google and
curious
Google.
as to how this works, and then you're
Right.
off.
It just kind of
Yeah.
go down the rabbit hole. So anyhow, that equates to 25 days per year per employee on unproductive, I'm not working hours.
Yeah.
So it kind of got to me where I was thinking through this and thinking, okay, so how does one fix this? And there's, you know, 30 ways to do this. But, off the top of my head, I just thought it's not about finding the talent that can actually do it. It's about refining the talent that you have,
100%.
right? Now, I don't want to say upskilling, but upskilling, right? But refine the talent that you have and give them access to the learning ability, to the different
Well,
trainings that are out there and things like that. But make it so that they actually have it at their fingertips. So in real time, as they're doing things, those 4+ hours that they're Googling and trying to figure stuff out on their own can actually be learned. So
well, I
moral of the
think
story is
there's
time to
two
invest.
things. The hours, the 14.3 hours that they're working with data task.
Hmm.
I think AI and Gen AI is going to take a lot of that out, but they're
Yeah,
still going to have hours of interpreting or validating. So they'll still
sure.
be doing things with data, but it'll just be different.
Yeah.
The 4.3 hours, again, some of that's curiosity. It's like, I don't know how to do this. Let me see if I can find a Gen AI
Right.
tool that does that. Now they're on the internet looking around trying to find stuff. You and I have seen this.
Yeah.
You and I have seen this with clients and companies. We've seen this where employees, they're taking initiative. So in a weird way, we look at it as
Right.
unproductive and inefficient and all that other stuff. They're just trying to, they're curious. They're trying
Right.
to be better.
Now,
They don't see it. I would imagine if we surveyed the employees, if we'd find out they don't view it as inefficient at all.
well, so there's two things there, two things, and I think this is important. So let's just round it to five. We'll say five
Right? Yeah,
hours.
yeah,
Okay, so 5 hours
fair.
I'm spending Googling and researching and doing all this stuff so I can learn something. One argument could be, well, you're taking that freedom and that creativity ability away, and then you're gonna frustrate your employee and they're gonna go away.
That's right.
Partially true.
Partially
The
true.
other side to that, and this is kind of, I think I'm more heavily on this side, I'm frustrated as hell. 5 hours in, I'm still trying to figure out how to
Right,
make something
right.
work, how to integrate my my email account, whatever you're on, into something else, or how to get Slack to do, like, I'm frustrated, which now goes into another task, which now I start talking and gabbing to other people. And
Right,
now
right.
it's just a
Becomes poison.
snowball. Right,
Yeah.
right, right. So,
Companies need to provide that layer of training at the point, as you mentioned, at the
yeah,
moment that they need the training.
real
Okay.
time
And
on the job
at the
training.
same time, I think you solve that for curiosity.
Yeah.
So if you want to foster curiosity, which would lead to innovation or can lead to innovation. So
Hmm.
if somebody wants to figure out like how to make a Gen AI video, an explainer video, and they just have no idea even where to start, that's a curiosity. It has nothing to do with their
Right.
job. It's just a curiosity. Fuel that curiosity and let them figure that out. Like, okay, that's what are you trying to learn?
Yeah.
Boop.
I'm
Okay, great.
curious
Here's
what the
three
water
tools.
temperature is right now to see how I can get out of here and go fishing. But
100%.
I mean, no one's
So
going to pay me to do that. Well, I guess technically I could get paid to do that.
you could get paid.
Yeah.
Yes, you could.
So if
You're just gonna
anyone's
have to get
listening
better.
who wants to be a sponsor of a boat, let me know. I know a guy.
D's nuts. All right, are we on funding?
We're all money, baby.
All right, ding ding. All right, Cloud Pay, a payroll service provider, lands $120 million in new funding. This on TechCrunch, so you can read kind of the story. So, first thing that comes out of my
Mm-hmm.
mouth is probably going to seem negative, but it isn't. It's about fucking time. So the thing about Cloud Pay, I would say even less than 6 years ago, they, ADP, and I would say there's probably a Safeguard, maybe three other players, had the global payroll market by the balls. And they let all of these other people creep in. So we've dealt with remote and deal and just and you go around the rippling and all of these different folks that are now can and effectively
Mm-hmm.
do remote global payroll. It seems like they this should have been made
Yeah.
way before all these players got in, so that they dig in and really kind of it could have created maybe some defensible positions.
Yeah.
But I think they're playing. First of all, I hope I'm wrong
Mm-hmm.
because I like the people at CloudPay, and so I think they're based in the UK and in Raleigh. So they've got kind of both of them going on. I think it's the old Pattersons. But anyhow, I'm worried that it's too late, and I hope that I'm wrong. But I think that I see this funding, and I love that someone got $120 million. However, I wish I would have seen this funding about 6 years ago.
Yeah, and it's payroll, global payroll is probably one of the most complex
Oh, 100%.
areas in this space, right?
100%.
So when you mention Deal and you mention, some of these others,
Yeah.
these aren't rippling, these aren't small players. Like,
No,
yeah, so when you say 6 years ago, these companies potentially don't make it to where they are today.
that
Had
is
they have
correct.
done this, right? Now
That's
can
correct.
Cloud Pay leapfrog that, or do they? I mean,
They're not going to be able to acquire them.
no,
So that's out.
yeah,
And now it might be a roll up. You could see someone come along and go, "Hey, I like what this
right,
one, and this one does." Okay, and do something like that. But they had the chance
yeah.
to actually go and again,
Somebody hesitated.
somebody hesitated,
Yeah,
and so and again, you allowed competitors to creep into your
right.
space without creating enough
Yeah,
differentiation. And again, hope I'm wrong because I
yeah,
do know the ex CEO, CEO, and former CEO, and I know their marketer,
yeah,
and I like them.
yeah,
However,
yeah.
I
Well,
just wish that this would have been done earlier.
yeah. Well, and another point, and we'll jump to the next one. These new companies that can't say not even new, but the companies that came in during that time are modern, right?
Right.
They're
That's a
flexible,
good
they're
point.
nimble, they're modern, they're on the latest, greatest, they're innovating all the time.
That's right.
Can they do this now? Well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's hope for the best, right? Let's hope for the best for him. Ryan Tezi,
Yeah,
Tezi,
Tezzy
raises
Tezzy.
eight.
What was funny about
we
that? What I say?
we got some explaining to do. All right, 9 million to launch Max,
Yeah,
the first fully autonomous is a key word here,
yeah,
AI recruiter. And this is on their blog,
yeah.
blog.tezi.ai. So if you go to tezi.ai, you can kind of figure it out. So I'm like, Max? I kind of like the name Max.
I
I
do.
know
I don't hate it.
it's like you're maximizing, right? So like it
To
comes
the
across in a lot of
fullest.
cool ways.
To
Yeah,
the
yeah.
max.
I'm fascinated by this because of the word autonomous.
Hmm.
And so I want to see how autonomous is really, like in the real world. And this could fuel if they're successful. And $9 million is a pretty good number. This could lead to what people have been fearing in our space in the
Sure.
sourcing and recruiting space for years. When they hear about AI, it's like this is going to take my job. Well, this is actually
2026 will be your last person sourced, homie.
Yeah,
Sorry. No.
the future's Tezzy just announced future's here now, homie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So FOBO
Yeah.
is legit,
Yeah.
and so yeah, what'd you see?
So this is a sourcing. This is sourcing. This is screening. This is scheduling. This is
Autonomous.
this is autonomous. Yeah. So these are all the activities, and I know there's a lot of hate out there for what I'm about to say. These are all of the activities that are grouped in as low value activities in the world
Hmm.
of recruiting. Not saying sourcing is not important, not saying screening and schedule. All of that is super important. And sourcing takes a lot of skill. I was there, done it, been there, got it. But these are three things that, if automated properly and run by the human,
Right,
make a
right.
difference. Right?
Yeah,
This makes a difference. It's scalable. It's everything that the world of recruiting has been talking about and or fearing
yeah.
for a very long time. Now, here's my thought on fear, and I've said this before, and I've been hit on it before, but whatever. This is just my thought.
Yeah.
As a sourcer, are you fearing techno? Are you hating on technology?
Right.
Taking over sourcing and automating and saying you're better versus the machine. This is like, machine versus man and chess and all of that.
Right. Right.
Because you believe that, or is it more what I think, that you just don't want to move on, right?
You want to learn.
And
Yeah. You don't want to learn
evolve.
something new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's time to evolve. This is the
I
time.
think more the latter. I think more the latter than the former.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the time to evolve, right? You hear this in investing, you hear this in all this stuff all the time. You see it, do it, right? Like, okay, you heard about like all these, social media people making buku dollars on social and all this stuff,
Right.
going from platform to platform. Yeah, they saw it in 2005.
Right.
By 2007, they were the top 100, first 100 people doing this. They didn't wait
Yep.
till 2012. This is the time right now. If you're a sourcer, get on
Jump in
board, get better. Not at sourcing,
again.
get better at being a leader in recruitment. And
Back to the train metaphor. Yes.
yeah, exactly. So good luck to everybody. I love the play.
3 funding stories left, right? So Impact Tool, it's a AI-driven career platform, raises 4 million to boost AI job matching. This is
Hmm.
on technews180.com, so you go look there and read a little bit more about it. The recent funding, so this is a quote. The recent funding will enable Impact Pool to enhance its technology, focusing on diversity and inclusion. So first of all, I'll get the comedy out of the way first, because the comedy for me when I read that statement was, well, it hasn't been doing this since the jump.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds
Kind of what you
crazy.
do.
Uh, anyhow, but I think what they're really saying is they have AI matching, and it does diversity and inclusion. They just want it to be better. So
Right.
good for them. $4 million. And again, it's an AI driven career platform. So it's basically working with you to then figure out what your next steps are, what you need to learn, this, that, the other. So good for them.
Yep.
And good for them raising the money, and good for them on how they're going to spend it. Skillfully. I like that name.
It is a good.
Skillfully raises 2.5 in seed funding, hiring decisions with 100% precision. See skills in action before you hire. I love plays like this.
I feel like you got to
So,
say 99.9% precision.
dude, said 100%. I'm like, we're
Yeah.
going with
I
it.
mean, Clorox doesn't kill 100% of fucking germs.
I don't know.
I mean, I've
Depends
never
on how
gotten
much.
sick, but I'm just
Depends
saying.
on how much you percolate. How many bottles you using? I'm definitely gonna kill
Why are
that
you still
motherfucker.
wiping that counter, Dad? Because it's only 99.9%.
Salmonella. We
Shit,
ain't having no
I use the
salmonella.
same knife across butter to chicken there. I don't
Oh,
care.
yeah. No, at this point, you're building intestinal fortitude.
Yes.
So skillfully, go to their website, skillful.ly, which is kind of cool. and it's in their newsroom about kind of what they're doing in terms of that. But I love this for employees and employers because it's a try before you buy. It's simulation software, right? So you get to do tasks, you get to kind of see the job, you get to do the bid. They get to see you, they being the employers. You as a candidate get to see this and see if you want to do it. I love stuff like this. If it's in VR, if it's going through the website. I like the companies that have done it historically.
Hmm.
It's just good. Like go test it, and in that way, maybe we have less attrition. Maybe we have less problems down the
Yeah.
road because it wasn't just a conversation. You got to try before you buy. So good luck for skillfully, well, good job skillfully for
Yeah.
raising the money, but also I love the technology.
I think we need to, I'm gonna make a note. We need to have a show on this conversation where try before you buy
Yeah,
process, right? So I get it from the employer side. We've always said that because we were selling staffing,
right.
right? Try before you buy, temp to perm, etc. But I really think, and this is kind of what you were alluding to, the candidates have that option as well.
Yes.
It's just
I
not
Yeah, this isn't for
stated.
me. I did the bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never be
You
successful
get
in this.
dinged as an applicant or a candidate or a job seeker for doing that.
Yeah.
And time has
Well, and
come.
also it takes some of the BS out of the process
Yeah.
because you're just like, hey, listen, you know what? Instead of me telling you how wonderful the job is, and you telling me how wonderful you
Yeah.
are, let's skip the wonderful.
Yeah.
Here's the
Here's
bit.
here's
Here's
why it sucks.
here's why it
Yeah.
sucks. But you know what? I'll tell you just a quick personal story. Years ago, when I was on the agency side of things, we would do a day in a life. It was a part of the hiring process where when we were serious about a candidate, we would pay for them to come in and have a day with us, and we didn't hide anything from them. Like it was when you walked in, it's as if you were an
Right.
employee that had been there for 2 years. We were going to treat you that way. We were going to talk that
Right.
way. Like there was no BS because if we didn't want them to go through the hiring process and then come in and go, oh my God, you guys curse like fucking sailors and you
Yeah.
drink like
Yeah.
sailors. Like, okay, all the whatever the bad, the good, all that stuff. It's like, no, we want everything to be out on the table.
Right. Right.
And again, I'd say half the candidates came in, did a day in a life, and said,
Yeah.
these guys are insane. And then half of them are like, oh no, I found my people. I want to do this. So I understand that's hard to get people to take off work and, and kind of maybe paying them, but paying them for their parking, paying for a lunch, like some type of remuneration, just finding a way to compensate them so that they don't feel like they're being taken advantage
Right.
of. But like getting them in there to just see all the bullshit. All jobs have bullshit.
It's
So
very true.
like as fast as we can get to the bullshit, the better.
Right.
Again, congrats to Skillfully.
Very nice.
Last funding story, and it's a smaller bit, but it's the title of this is Richard King Mellon Foundation has committed $300,000 to a company called Loan Buy. So Loan BYE, a Pittsburgh-based company specializing in student loan debt relief solutions for employers. So loanbuy.com. Loanbuy.com. Go take a look at it. What I like about this play is it's actually a benefit. like like not making fun of pet insurance.
Yeah.
However, if you're bringing in college graduates, early stage college graduates, like this is a tax-free student loan repayment benefit for employers to offer. It's an actual benefit that will help you recruit, retain talent. I think it's good for all involved. I wish I would have had this for me because I had debt. I had student debt
Yep.
from my undergrad and from my first master's. I didn't have a whole lot of debt from my MBA, but I had some debt that I had to carry forth, and it took Michael and I, 10 years or whatever the hell it was
Mm-hmm.
to pay it all off. But like if I could work with a company that's helping me with that, I'm putting it. I mean, first of all, that's a benefit I'm going to take advantage of.
Yeah,
So
and there's a
congrats to
lot of
them.
these have hooks in them as well, right?
Right,
You need to be here
right.
for X amount of time, et cetera, et
That's right.
cetera. But yeah, I mean, shit, if I had help paying all that, that'd be
I
amazing.
know, right?
It took 10
Loan
years
buy.
of just checks. We were just talking about that last night.
I
Checks,
know.
checks, checks, checks for 10 years. Yeah. And
Oh
look where
yeah.
it got me.
Oh, it is.
Go mommy.
Well, so check them out. Loanbybye.com.
All right. We are done. We have
Barfed.
wrapped it up for the weekend. If you're listening and watching still, please subscribe. We would love to have you on board. If you have a chance,
100%.
make sure you go into your app wherever you are, hit that review button. That always helps us. And until next time.
Substack.
Oh yeah, Substack too. Until
Check
next
out our
time
Substack.
now.